Read from John chapter 20. We'll actually read from verse 1 to verse 18. Early on the first day of the week, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene went to the tomb and saw that the stone had been removed from the entrance. So she came running to Simon Peter and the other disciple, the one Jesus loved, and said, "They have taken the Lord out of the tomb. We don't know where they've put him." So Peter and the other disciple started for the tomb. Both were running, but the other disciple outran Peter. John, who wrote this gospel, never mentions himself. Whenever he speaks about the disciple that Jesus loved, he's talking about himself, John. And he's a faster runner than Peter. He's not bragging, he's just saying he's faster than Peter. Both were running, but the other disciple outran Peter and reached the tomb first. He bent over and looked in at the strips of linen lying there, but did not go in. Then Simon Peter, who was behind him, arrived and went into the tomb. He saw the strips of linen lying there, as well as the burial cloth that had been around Jesus' head. The cloth was folded up by itself, separate from the linen. Finally, the other disciple, who had reached the tomb first, also went inside. He saw and believed. They still did not understand from Scripture that Jesus had to rise from the dead. Then the disciples went back to their homes, but Mary stood outside the tomb crying. As she wept, she bent over to look into the tomb and saw two angels in white, seated where Jesus' body had been, one at the head and the other at the foot. In Jesus' day, women were not regarded as good witnesses. And yet, in the Gospels, Jesus appears to the women first. And that in itself speaks the truth. That why would the Gospel writers, why would they do it this way unless it happened this way? And so they asked her, "Woman, why are you crying?" "They have taken my Lord away," she said, "and I don't know where they've put him." At this, she turned around and saw Jesus standing there, but she did not realize that it was Jesus. "Woman," he said, "why are you crying? Who is it you're looking for?" Thinking he was the gardener, she said, "Sir, if you've carried him away, tell me where you've put him, and I will get him." And Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned towards him and cried out in Aramaic, "Rabboni," which means teacher. Jesus said, "Do not hold on to me, for I've not yet returned to the Father. Go instead to my brothers and tell them, be the first witness. Tell them that I'm returning to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God." Mary Magdalene went to the disciples with the news, "I've seen the Lord." And she told them that he had said these things to her. We believe that our God redeemed us, that he is alive today, that he wants to know us in relationship with him. He is alive. We give thanks and praise. You could preach so much on that short passage. But what we're going to do today is just have people who have just had a deeper experience of God in this last year or so, and we're just going to invite them up and we're going to chat to them. Does that sound okay? So I'd like to invite Denise to come up first. We've got a stool for you. You can relax. Hopefully it's not too high. Hopefully it's not too squeaky. There we go. So, Denise has been... See, have you ever seen these stools where you just do this? I'll not do that. I'll behave. Denise, you've been around the church for a wee while now, and you did Alpha last year, or maybe 2 years ago. How are things going? How are you finding your Christian walk?
My Christian walk is different every day. It's fantastic. After doing Alpha, It was great because Alpha it's a great place just to talk about things that I guess you don't normally really get to talk about, and questions that you can just debate, which is great. Everybody loves a good debate. And Alpha is fab. It's great for people that have been coming to church for years. It's great for people that have never been to church. But yeah, so since Alpha, my journey's just got bigger and better, and I thank God for that. Every day is new experiences.
And how did you find Alpha? How was it the first time you came in? What was it like?
I think the first time I came in, obviously I didn't know what I was expecting. I'd never been to an Alpha course. I'd heard of it, but never really known what it was. So it was very relaxed. It was dinner, which was lovely. Saved me cooking on a Thursday night.
No dishes?
No dishes. And then it was a short video, which was great. Very informal, but very, for me, educational. Which is a big word when you're talking about your spiritual journey, but actually it's good to be educated on things about Jesus and God and the Bible and prayer and lots of different things. So yeah, it's
and how's life been since then?
Life's been great. It's had its ups and downs. Life wouldn't be life if you never had its downs, but I think because obviously the enhancement of my life that Alpha done proper English here, I'm not sure, then I think I've certainly learned through Alpha, as well as reading the Bible, that actually when you're going through hard times, God is there right with you, and it's okay not to be okay. But God is there, and He blesses us, He guides us, He leads us. Sorry.
No, you're good. Carry on. And this last week you were in sunny Skeg. Do you want to share a little bit what was going on in Skegness this week?
Okay, for those that I haven't spoke to this morning, which probably isn't very many that I've not told you about Skegness and Spring Harvest, I'm going to sound like an advert, a selling base for Spring Harvest. It was just amazing. The teaching, the worship, one of the things I loved about Spring Harvest was loads of Christians there, just being able to be yourself, waking up in the morning, going for breakfast with our Christian family. I'm not a morning person, so my Christian family saw that. Praise the Lord for that, because they now know that by the time I get to church on Sunday morning, I'm like, hi, how are you? I'm not always like that. So
it's
they
okay.
saw that side.
There's quite a few of us that are not like that.
Which is fine. But Spring Harvest, for I think especially if it's okay for me kind of just to babble on here, for us was a miracle that we got there, because I will be the first to admit that I had said to my husband, no, it's too long a journey, there's too much crowds, Parkinson's and crowds don't mix, we can praise God here without going to Spring Harvest, which is absolutely true. So for us, that was a miracle, and God is a miracle worker. That we got to Spring Harvest. I think I cried the whole time, just the fact that we were there and God had carried us. And the worship, the teaching, as I said, was absolutely amazing. And Graham drove all the way home on Friday, which, if anybody doesn't believe in modern day miracles, speak to Graham and ask him about his daily life and about what normally happens and how tired he gets. The fact that he drove all the way home, I think I must have kissed him in the car and thanked God at the same time, which probably wasn't a very pretty sight. So Spring Harvest for us was a miracle, and it's great, to see thousands of people worship God, because it's great. I love this church. I love the worship. I love the teaching, the preaching. I love everybody here. But I think it's really quite encouraging to, again, its development in my spiritual walk, to actually sit in a big, massive tent, marquee,
big top,
a big top, and see that amount of Christians that actually, go through what we all go through, and that is the good times, the bad times, the times where we think, wow, can I keep going with this? They've all experienced that, and certainly the preaching for me showed that actually these guys that are standing in the big top preaching, they also shared a lot of their life stories, and they go through that as well, which was really encouraging to me. That actually, and I know God loves us all the same. I don't mean there's small Christians and big Christians, but yeah. And so, if I'm allowed just to share the two things.
Aye, yeah.
That's what I get for praying that the Lord takes my nervousness away up here, because God answers prayers.
He's answered prayer there.
The two things that I took away from Spring Harvest this year was the first thing was with the Lord's Prayer. Keith's obviously went through the Lord's Prayer, and that's been great teaching, and I've got loads out of it. But I've got I've got a good sense of humour. I quite like a laugh, and that's perfectly okay. But one of the things that one of the guys had said was that God will always give us our daily bread. My husband's laughing. He says, out of everything that you're taking out of Spring Harvest, you take this. So God will always give us our daily bread. Some days he might not put Nutella on it, but he'll always give us our daily bread. And for me, that's precious. Half of you guys are probably going, what? But, and the other thing was that actually, as Christians, it's okay not to be okay, and give it to God. And don't underestimate God when we're praying. That was the biggest thing for me. That actually, sometimes I do pray, a lot of times I pray, and I ask him for small things, but actually, we should be praying for the big things, because we serve a mighty God.
Amen. Amen. Give her a big round of applause. I feel like I'm in the waiting room next. This is Peter. You might not have met Peter before. Peter's often upstairs doing the video stuff, or he's in the band as well. Peter has come around the church for this last a year or so, not quite a year.
10, 12 months, 11 months.
And he did Alpha during September time as well. So, Peter, I just want to ask you 3 questions. Why did you do Alpha?
I did Alpha because I just came from a church where things weren't going so well. They were sort of rejecting the way we were doing worship and things like that. So I just felt that I needed God to fill me again, and I just decided that I was going to do Alpha. And for me, it was the best thing I ever did. It was like, as it says, it was like a resurrection for me, because my life was kind of going in the opposite direction from going with God. It was going another way. And to come here and to feel the fellowship and the friendship from all you people, it was great. And doing Alpha was just the most amazing thing for me. I got so filled with the Holy Spirit.
How did you find it? How did you find?
Well, previous Alphas, it was always the minister that did the talk, and we never ever used videos. So to come here and to actually watch the videos, which had been revamped and everything, it was really great, and I really got a lot from it. Yeah.
Fantastic. And how has life been since you've finished the course and been part of the church? How's your walk going?
My walk's going great. I've started reading the Bible more, and also I've been praying more, which is important, I think. And Jesus is just such an amazing thing. Sometimes when I'm listening to worship music, because I love worship music, and I'm walking along and I'm thinking, God, this is just not enough. I mean, I'm listening to all this wonderful, amazing music, and you suddenly see yourself, this is not enough. I want more. I want so much more. And I don't know how one can get more.
Probably won't get as much as we need until heaven, eh? But yeah. So ups and downs, but you just feel God's in it with you.
Oh, God is just an amazing person. I've hardly had any ups and downs over the past 9-10 months. I'm going this year. I'm going down to the men's conference down in Bradford. I've been before, and it's just such. The first time I went was about 2004, and to see 5,000-6,000 men praising God is just something else. That's where I realised there's more to worship than just singing 200-year-old hymns. And there's nothing wrong with 200-year-old hymns, but to sing something fresh and new, it was just something else. Yeah.
Fantastic. Anything else you want to say? Captive audience.
No.
Give Peter a round of applause. Thank you. Going to ask Zian to come up now, and he's going to take the hot seat. He's been panicking all week.
It's bouncy as well.
It is. It's harder for taller chaps. You're never quite sure how to put your feet around. So, Zian, how are things with you? How you did Alpha this last year as well? How did you find it? What were your reasons for coming along to do it?
Well, I'm well. That's yes. First of all,
Yeah.
I'm well, thanks. The reason I came along to Alpha was because I'm fairly new to this church, and I found the church very friendly, and I knew a little bit about Alpha before, and I thought, okay, I've been on Alpha before, maybe I don't need to go, but I thought, okay, I'll go because it's a really good opportunity to meet other people in the church, which it was, but actually it was much more than that. It wasn't just the videos. Am I answering another question, or is it? I feel like I'm an interview here.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. So I guess the thing wasn't any one thing. It was just I think it was the shared experience of it all, actually, because I felt there weren't any experts. We were all in it together, and there was some moments that were incredibly profound and very moving. That is. Well, I guess it takes you by surprise, and God is a God of surprises after all, So, I would recommend it to anyone and everyone.
We run it in September, if anyone is interested,
Yeah.
or tell other people about it.
Yeah.
And how have things been since?
I would say things are good. What I find myself doing much more is being thankful for the things that I have, as opposed to. I don't know. I have had historically a tendency to think, hello. It's all right. It doesn't matter.
The battery's just gone, probably, as it does.
A new technology always lets you down.
Every time. Peter will get a battery for us. This one will not work. No. Yes, if we can.
You can have a fight with the ear.
You can just hold it.
I just hold on to it, right?
Yeah, if it's on.
Is it on?
It is on. Aye. So.
Hello.
Oh, yeah. That's on.
Yes. So what was I saying again?
I can't remember. How are things been?
Basically, being more thankful is definitely a good thing, and I'd say that praying is different because I feel that it's more about, for me, and I don't know if this is to do with Alpha or it's just to do with being a Christian, and being curious. I think that's something, is being curious, being curious about God, being curious about what other people are saying, but just being thankful, because it actually it's a upward spiral as opposed to a downward spiral, because there's lots of things to be thankful for, and I don't mean that in the way that there's always somebody worse off than you, because I always feel for that person, who is that person? It's always, the person that's right at the bottom, but there is no person. We've all got something to be thankful about. So I'd say that has been the biggest thing.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And let's give Ian a round of applause. Thank you. And so you've heard us talk about Skegness, you've heard us talk about Spring Harvest. I'm going to invite the person who organised it all for us, Rhona, to come up and share a little bit about what Spring Harvest was all about. You okay sitting still? There you go. Okay.
Do you mind if I don't sit on the stool? I don't like the stools, I'm too small.
So how, first of all, why did you organise for nearly 40 people to go to Spring Harvest this year? Are you nuts?
I went to Spring Harvest when I was about 14 with a friend from school, and coming from St John's at that time, I think I was probably about the only teenager around. So to go to Spring Harvest and see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of teenagers just worshipping the Lord helped me in my foundations, realising that it was actually okay to say you went to church. It wasn't embarrassing. It wasn't, yeah, I go to church on a Sunday. You know, you were able to be open. And I'm not saying that that was easy. You come back filled and, right, I'm going to take on the world. And then as soon as you go to school on the Monday morning, what did you do at the weekend? Oh, I didn't do anything. So anyway, I absolutely loved it. So, lots and lots of years ago, probably about 15 years ago, we went as a church for a few years in a row, and it was great. And then, I don't know, it just kind of fell away. Nobody organised it. So 2 years ago, we decided, Russell and I, that let's see if we can get even just a few of us to go down. And we ended up with 20. Everybody loved it. When are we going again? Okay, we'll organise it the next year. So, so I thought, right, I'll take it on. And 36 of us came this year. All ages, all stages in faith. That's why we did it.
So let me get this straight. It's Skegness and it's Butlins. Is that correct? Is it Butlins and Skegness? That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, Has anybody been on a Butlins holiday? Put your hand up. Yeah.
I used to go as a kid in Ayr. I used to go there. Loved it. Sorry.
So Skegness is quite a trek. It's about 6 hours in the car. A few of the guys in the church did 3 trains.
Going down, how many breaks did your husband stop for, and how long for?
Okay. Thanks for that. He was adamant we weren't stopping at all. We were doing the full 6 hours. Quite a lot of the guys stopped halfway and stayed overnight, whereas I got a 7-minute loo stop. Literally 7 minutes. He timed us. And then coming home, he thought that was a bit harsh, so he gave us a 10-minute loo stop. So yeah.
Don't travel with Russell next year.
No. If we've got space in the car, don't come with Russell. No.
And so it was staying at Skegness, Butlins. Food is all provided for. Beds are too small.
And very squeaky.
And squeaky. And all that stuff. But why would you go then?
Yeah, so it's basically your Butlins holiday with a whole thousands and thousands of Christians. So Spring Harvest take over the whole site. So everyone that's there is there for Spring Harvest. So you can use the swimming pool, you can go to the fun fair, all the kind of bowling alley, all the activities that would be in a Butlins holiday. But then there's a huge programme of Christian things that you can go to. There's celebrations, worship, for all different denominations. You've got the sort of modern stuff, but you've also got contemporary worship, speakers, lots of teaching, and also just time to be. There's prayer spaces that you can just go, and it's so busy, life's so busy, and it's nice just to take some time. You can do as much as you want, you can do as little as you want. I didn't do a huge amount this year because I've had a really busy year, so it was nice just to, do church with your family, but then also have some time in the middle of the day just to chill and be.
And are you organising it for next year?
Yeah, of course. Next year, we would leave on Easter Monday, so it's not Holy Week next year, it's Easter Monday for 5 days, Monday to Friday. I have checked, Midlothian and East Lothian schools are still on holiday. So, this year we had 36, so we're aiming for more next year. The group that won the competition had over 100 people, so that's what we're aiming for, 100 people to go to Spring Harvest. It's good. If anybody wants to come, just let me know. We do have to book it quite early because it sells out really quickly, so beginning of June would be when we'd be looking to book it.
And who won the pub quiz this year?
Yeah, so we went down to Skegness as reigning champions last year, so there was lots of pressure. St John's won it for a second year in a row.
So we need to go back. So we're just so thankful to Russell and Rhona for organising it. It's a wonderful trip. It really kind of lifts faith. I have just been kind of, you get caught up in the busyness of life, and then you get a chance to go away from Butlins, but you get a chance
It's
to
really
go to
not that bad.
Skegness. Sorry,
It's really not that bad.
It sounds worse than it is. Honestly, it's great, and you go and you just it's a faith riser. It just helps you, to face everything that you're going to face when you come back. So if you are interested, please let Rhona know.
And can I just add, it's not just for families, it's from babies to not so young people. There's something on offer for everyone. It's not just for families.
If you've not got kids, it's even better because you don't have to go in the swimming pool if you don't want to. So, it's all that kind of thing. But we really want to show our appreciation to Rhona. So, Denise, if you want to come up and there's a wee something for Rhona, just to say thank you, a wee token, just to say thank you for organising it and all you've done. So, let's give her a huge round of applause. We just want to encourage you today, the day of resurrection. We just want to encourage you in all that you face and all that you do, that God is alive, God's at work, and there are things that we can help you with. For example, Alpha, Spring Harvest, Parent Talk, all these kind of things that we do. But we do it to bless you and to bless others, because we believe that God's given us this treasure that will grow us, that He's alive in us, that Spirit wants to move in us. And also, it's not just for us. It's for the folks who are out there. It's for the town of Dalkeith. It's for the town of Edinburgh. It's for all the surrounding areas, that as we get filled up with the love and the joy of the resurrection, it can make a difference in other people's lives. We believe in eternity. We believe we will meet Him face to face one day. But in the meantime, I think we need to bring as many as possible along with us. So we just want to encourage you this morning and be blessed. What we're going to do now is we're just going to sing a worship song. We're going to have uplifting the offerings. The offerings are for the members of the church. If you're a visitor, please don't feel you have to give. We're just going to take some time to reflect, rejoice in who Jesus is. So we're going to sing as the offerings are up.